We must act boldly even if we have a history of failure. The children of Israel had a history of failure. 430 years they had been in bondage. Every time they've tried to break free from Egypt, Pharaoh had made their life worse. When anybody comes and says, I'm going to be a deliverer, Pharaoh punishes the people. Even when Moses came on the scene, Pharaoh made their life worse. In other words, nobody has been able to break out of Egypt. But they decided, although our history is a history of failure, in this generation we will be bold. Your past, the record of your past, the record experiences of what didn't happen yesterday is not a prediction of what will not happen tomorrow. Just because it didn't happen yesterday does not mean God will not do it for you tomorrow. So I don't know what history you are dealing with. Israel was dealing with 430 years history of failure. Ghana is dealing with only 67 years of a history of failure. Short term. Compare 67 years to 430. If the people who had 400 years of failure could act boldly, then we who have had 67 years of failure, we can act bolder. And don't tell me it didn't happen 10 years ago, it didn't happen 20 years ago, it didn't happen, so it can never happen. No! It didn't happen 10 years ago for Israel. It didn't happen 40 years ago. It didn't happen 100 years ago. It didn't happen 200 years ago. It didn't happen 300 years ago. And still, one night, after an encounter with God, they decided, we're getting up and we are going out. Your past failures, the history of your life, the history of your family, the history of your bloodline, the history of everything you have gone through from the day you were born. None of us here is 430 years. You are probably 60 years. You are 70 years. You are 30 years. You are 25 years. Somebody say, I'm bold. And we are bold even if we have a history of failure. We are bold because this is a new visitation from God. This is a new day in our lives, and we are bold to step out.